Alright. Shalom. First and foremost, I must say, Kalam Yahweh Shemel Shah Bashim HaKakodash. And I want us today, others and apostles, the great millstone in GMS. Great millstone in GMS to rule and teach well. And today I would like to get into Proverbs, the 8th chapter. I might just, go ahead and break the whole chapter down. So we'll just go into it. The title is The Commendation of Wisdom. Doth not wisdom cry, and understanding put forth her voice? She standeth in the top of high places, by the way, in the places that pass. She cries at the gates, the entry in the city, the coming in at the doors. Right? Verse 1 and 20. Wisdom crieth without. Let's see here. Crieth without. Outside. Yeah, so wisdom cries outside, shares her voice in the streets. Right? So the word without is chawataza. Yeah. Outside, outward, cries in the streets. Because that's where brothers are. We're out here, in the streets, week in, week out, pushing out, this truth. Right? She cried in the chief place of concourse, in the opening of the gates of the city, she uttered words saying, right, brothers aren't in, fucking, dingy ass alleyways, I'm thinking of the movie that I grew up watching that I really liked, Sin City. He had, what the fuck, can't remember this guy's name. But yeah, he had some pretty big name. Oh, Benicio del Toro. I believe he was in there. That's one guy I recognize off rip, straight up off the bat. But yeah, that movie, is all about, this fictional city, and it's just like fucking grimy and just terrible and just like, got corrupt cops and all this stuff. We're not in, you don't gotta, like with these criminals and stuff, you don't gotta hear from us from like another guy or something. You'll see us out there. We're out there, and we're easy to get to. We're in public places, right? And that's no slight against, the prophets and the the apostles of old, because in the old times, well, not really in old times, and back then, because it's not that old. It's like 2,000 years ago. It's not that long ago. The Earth isn't billions and billions of years old, like they tell you with these colleges and these universities and whatever. But basically, my point is, they had to move in a certain way. They had to teach in secret or teach underground in certain cases, because we're being hunted in the streets. They were killing us en masse. They were butchering our people, butchering our brothers, those Edomite Romans. They were persecuting us. So, sometimes we had to teach underground. How long ye civil ones will ye love simplicity? And not just Edomite Romans. Well, yeah, not just Edomite Romans, because think about what happened to Stephen. That was Jake. That was murder. They murdered him. And the Most High, took him up. How long ye simple ones you love simplicity and scorns delight in scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Then ye my proof, and I'll pour my spirit unto you, and I'll make known my words unto you. I'll say it again. Verse 23, 10, you are my proof. Behold, I'll pour my spirit unto you, and make known my words unto you. Right? So if you turn back, the Most High, will turn his words, and he'll speak unto you. He'll deal with you. Like talks about Yahushua, he stands and knocks. So if he's dealing with you, he'll knock at the door of your mind through the men, and he'll sup with you. He'll deal with you. He's not gonna just abandon you and leave you in a corner or something, you know. Because I have called and you have refused, I stretched out my hand and no man regarded. But you have said not all my counsel, with none at my reproof. I also will laugh at your community. I will mock when your fear cometh. Right? And the Most High, He'll laugh to His men. Will mock and laugh at you. Right? Lord willing, I'm of that number. Right? Gotta always say Lord willing, because I don't know. Right? There's been many times where even guys that I grew up, watching, I'm saying, growing up, not growing up literally, as like, from boy to manhood, but I'm watching in this truth, guys, that like when I was, say like 19, 20, 21, because I was kind of, I was always aware of Great Millstone, but I didn't understand how the camps work. I thought everyone was the same, but then, as I watched and learned, I kind of learned that, okay, they're all different. And then, Spirit just kind of took me to GMS, Wadi al-Bashim Shai, because I was still getting shape-ups when I was following these other camps. I was doing fucking whatever, still, I think I upheld the Sabbath, but I think I used to think the Sabbath was like Friday to Saturday. I don't think I knew about the lunar Sabbath. I don't believe I knew it quite yet, where am I going? We can drop that. I should know where this is at. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 6, verse 9. Verse 8. These commission also heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send? Who shall go for us? Then said I, here am I, send me. And he said, go and tell his people, hear ye indeed, but understand not. See ye indeed, but perceive not. Right? Ra'ah, look at. Right? Perceive, peer, be visible. Look. Right? And perceive. Yadai, to know. Be sure of. So you see, but you can't discern, you can't distinguish, you can't recognize, you can't acknowledge, you can't confess, you can't consider, right? You can't be known, right? Make known, reveal oneself, be skillful in, have knowledge, be wise, to know by experience, endued with familiar friend, feel, have, right? Comprehend, right? It's like one of those things where, just talking about, I don't know, sports and athletic stuff, but we all know in the gym with genetics and everything, one guy can have, according to the genetics, he can have like a disproportionate amount of muscle fibers or potential to grow muscle fibers in one area, or they may already have that, and this is like they already have that connection with the muscle group. Like some guys just have fucking gigantic calves for no reason, and they don't have to do shit for it. And you got other guys such as myself that got to do everything but the kitchen sink. Try to up the body weight to put on any mass in the lower legs, right? But sticking it to the scriptures, right? So that's what I mean by perceiving. Certain people are just gifted with certain things, and they could perceive certain things better. Brothers have different gifts. Even talk about that on a level like that. Brothers are better at certain things than other brothers. That's perfectly okay. But with this truth, there are those that lack the gift of being able to even perceive the words that we're speaking, or to be able to even perceive that these words are the truth. And to be honest, the truth, that I think about it, when you hear brothers speak and everything, it's like another language. Whenever I hear brothers speak, it's like another language, but not to me because I understand. But having more of a perspective, even though I'm no deep brother or nothing, I'm a new guy. I'll always consider myself new, but well, for now, but this society is gonna last much longer. So I'm a new guy, right? I haven't been here a decade. I've been here like a year or two or something. But um, it's like when people walk by, they won't they're not gonna understand that, right? The milk is hard for them to understand, right? If we go into anything real heavy, they'll lose it. They won't follow you at all, right? Verse 10: Make hearts people fat and make their ears heavy. Shut their eyes lest they see with their eyes and hear with the ears, understand with the heart and convert and be healed. Right? So make the ears of this people, the hearts of people fat, grow fat, fatness, oily or gross, become like wax, fat, so fatness, bloated. So I'm thinking of bloated. Make their ears heavy, shut their eyes, they see with the eyes, hear with the ears, and understand with the heart, and convert and be healed. Swear for convert. Shawab, turn back. Yeah, like repentance. Human relations, spiritual relations, repetition. Right, which I mean, honestly, see, you got this. See what you got here, Acts 28, 50, 25. There's Apostle Paul speaking. Who's he speaking to? Right, he's at Malta. He arrives at Rome. I believe the account is that. Man, I gotta look into this again. I forgot. He spoke to, was it Felix? Whatever the procurator was or something at the time, the leader in Jerusalem. But then he sent him away. Well, I think Apostle Paul, he didn't send him away. He appealed to Caesar. I think that when he actually went to Caesar, then he got, I think he was locked up for some time. And then I think they let him go. And then I think he was beheaded. I think it was Nero. But I gotta go back into it. Don't quote me on that. In the Vietnam, when the cells departed, and after that, Paul spoke one word, will spake the Holy Spirit by says a prophet unto our fathers. Right, and it's just basically the same thing. Being known therefore unto you that the salvation the Most High is sent to the Gentiles, that they will hear it. Yeah. So yeah, it is sent to the Israelite foreigners, not to literal Gentiles, but he was using it to apply to Jakes that were around back then, who aren't follow, or no, I won't say following, who aren't considering the Israelite foreigners to be a part of the people, and basically kick them out, but they didn't have an understanding that it's salvation through faith, salvation through grace, and not by works. Verse 11, then said I, Lord, how long? The answer, until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, houses be without man, the land be utterly desolate. Right? Yeah, and that's just referencing the destruction. We can go back. So we can start at the top. Proverbs 8 and 1. And does not wisdom cry, understanding put forth her voice? She standeth in the top of high places, by the way, in the place of the paths. She cries at the gates of the entries of the city, at the coming in at the doors. O unto you, O men, I call out my voice. Is this sons of men? O you simple, understand wisdom, and you fools be ye of understanding heart. Right? Because we were all like that. We didn't understand this truth. We're simple, following this world. Some of us were hood stars. Some of us were kind of just, doing whatever. I was a gamer or whatever. I still do play games, but definitely not as much as I used to. I was more so want to be, one of these so-called career jakes. Focus everything on the career and then do that stuff. I even wanted to I think I was like a freshman. I was even considered in the military for some time. But, I found out the truth and that kind of stopped me because I'm glad I didn't join the military because that would have been fucking miserable. Being around those fucking. I can't, like Scripture says a lot, I was vexed by the filthy conversation of the wicked. I can't be around, these people like that. Like, I'll just be vexed. It's just like I can't live around y'all, I was vexed all throughout school, and I found out the truth. I was like, oh my gosh. So I'm glad I didn't join no military, nothing like that. Right. Verse 6 here, if I will speak of excellent things, my mouth shall be right things. My mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is abomination to my lips. All the words of my mouth are righteousness. There's nothing foul or perverse in them. Right? Like it says in, I think maybe Wisdom of Solomon, the 8th chapter. Nothing defiled or wicked can fall into her. I'm talking about wisdom, talking about this, this truth, which that wisdom is really talking about Yahushua. They are all plain to him that understandeth, and right to them that find knowledge. See my instruction, not silver, knowledge rather than choice gold. Right, and we know that Jake loves his silver, he loves his gold. Jake always got their grills and stuff like that. And whether that's wicked, I think brothers even talk about that. That even goes back to our customs and things like that. There's even a scripture that says that have our teeth with gold and stuff like that. But don't quote me on that. But it goes back to our ways. We're wearing jewelry, we're wearing gold, wearing all these expensive materials. That goes back to us. We were doing that. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may be desired are not to be compared to it. Right. So, right. Think about it like this. Right. Gold, silver, these things are like diamonds, rubies. If you saw that on the street, right, you would you want to sell that, right? Like, say if you saw it on the ground and no one was looking, right? And I'm not saying like I would do that, because like I'm not picking up nothing off the ground. Like I've seen like $100 bill on the ground, and I was like, I walked right by it because we don't trust worldly riches, and plus you don't know where that dollar bill has been, and I don't know, man. I'm always a little nervous when I see like money and expensive stuff lying around, man. That's like, you don't know, someone might return back for that. It could be a drug dealer's money or some shit. I'm like, nah, bro, you're not catching me like that, bro. I'm not explaining that, bro. But if you saw these things, right, you'd be like, whoa, that's a lot of money right there. Like, I want to sell that. Oh, like when you think, how people who are like rich show their wealth, right? They show it through having these expensive diamonds and rubies and stuff onto it. But all that stuff that's like desirable, it's like, wow, man, that's really cool. Like, I wish I could have that. But I'm saying, like, in the perspective of someone in the world, not saying us, the one of that number, but the elect, if they're gonna be like this. We see that wisdom, knowledge, understanding is much more important than having diamonds or gold and all these choice, jewels upon us. Right? I wisdom dwell with prudence and find out knowledge of witty inventions. Right? Wisdom is Yahushua. Right? And prudence means careful consideration of the future. So it's Arama. That's a feminine noun, which means trickery in a good sense, discretion, guile, prudence, subtlety, willily, shrewdness, craftiness, prudence, wisdom. It's your witty inventions. Purpose, discretion. Devices can be evil. Mazama. Mazama. Okay. Device. A plan, usually evil. This is sometimes good, I think it said. Right? And find out knowledge of witty invention. So it could be evil. Because we do also do that. Through the Holy Spirit, through this truth, this knowledge, understanding, we're able to find out, inventions, levied and, pushed out against us. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, and pride, hate evil, pride and arrogancy, and the evil way, and the proud mouth I do hate. Perversity, tha, ha, pa, kawaf, the pakawaf. Means the pakawaf. Despite the hapakawaf. Let's see what this says. Hapak. So yeah, it's probably the hapakawaf. Yeah, it's probably the hapakawaf. The hapakawaf. Yeah, it's probably the hapakawaf because it comes from hapak. It's the hapaka, which means overthrow. Perversity. Let's go back to that again. Pervert, converted, make it bad, overthrow, perverse. Think about that, right? Righteousness. Something perverse is righteousness. Overturned or overthrown is overthrown righteousness. It means that's it's like the opposite. It's transformed. When we say something's wicked, something's like perverted. When we say something's perverted, it's like it's like off the beaten course. It's not what is right. It's something that is in a wicked way, right? Verse 14, counsel of mine, sell wisdom, I am understanding, I have strength. By me kings reign, and princes decree justice, right? That's going to be us. We're going with that number, right? By me princes rule, nobles, even all the judges of the earth, the elect. Absolutely. I love them that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me, right? And you go into that word early, it's shakar, to seek, to look for diligently, to seek early, right? Seek diligently early in the morning, right? It's like that thing that I once heard from the brother, I believe his name is Barack Abar. He runs the the GMS Peter Temper page. He was giving me some advice because whenever I go to the camp, I don't just ask him. I ask any brother after the camp, of course, because right when the camp is going on, I really try not to ask any questions. Number one, because it's not really a whole lot. I mean, I'm not saying like I know everything, but like I get like the basic gist. So I mean, I'm more here to listen, And secondly, I'm just I don't want to interrupt anything. And even with the questions, I usually just ask for advice and I just wait till they're done, and then ask my questions because I don't have to worry about interrupting the camp, or interrupting any brother in his speak or nothing like that. Which I wouldn't do that anyway. I can wait. So that's what it is. You seek diligently, right? And how you seek Shai, man, and search diligently, right? Well, you gotta watch the videos, man. Look at GMS Elders the Milk. You gotta find brothers. You gotta make like a diligent search. You gotta find the brothers near you, right? Come out and show your face, man. I'm speaking to the men for that regard, and not the woman. Woman, your role. You really should find yourself a brother that is, within this truth, and let that be your man, and you learn the scriptures from him, right? And that man, that you're with, it's his duty and his responsibility to teach you. He should be showing, video of the apostle. Or should be he's the one that's supposed to do the research and go on Elders the Milk and watch that video. Then he can go teach you after. Not you learn from no other man. Let that be that. right? Riches and honor are with me, yea, durable riches and righteousness, right? See one, durable, valued riches is, which is this, the kingdom, everything, everything that comes with it, you know. My fruit is better than gold. Yea, you can find gold in the revenue than choice silver, right? Because you get the kingdom, right? I lead in the way of righteousness in the midst of the paths of judgment, that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and I will feel their treasures, right? The kingdom once again. Lord possessed me in the beginning and of his way, before his works of old, right? Going back, and then you got to go back to Genesis, the first chapter. In the second chapter, right? I was in John, the first chapter, the first verse. I was set from everlasting, from the beginning, or ever the earth was, right? Because Yahushua is called the first begotten, right? When there were no depths, that was brought forth. When there was no fountains abounding with water, before the earth, came to be, was a deep space, He's getting the blueprint, right? See here, Yahushua is the firstborn, right? And you got that Revelation 1 and 8. We can just go ahead and get it. That's the book of Revelation, chapter 1 and 8. And the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the ending. I forgot about this one. Say the Lord, which is, which was, and which is to come, the Almighty. That's it. That's what it is. It's the book of Colossians 1:13, who have delivered us from the power of darkness and have translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son. We have the kingdom, Slovakia. The kingdom is within us, right? The kingdom of heaven is within us, right? It's through this knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and us brothers coming together. Even something as light as you coming down to the camp, right? And you just there, right? And you just listening. Man, that's the kingdom of heaven right there. That's it. It starts here. It starts now. But it's going to be, in this completed state once Yahushua comes down, right? And these devils are taken out of power. In whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins, who is the image of the invisible power, the firstborn of every creature, the first one, right? First spirit created. By him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, invisible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him. Spirits. And he is before all things, and by him all things consist. And he is the head of the body, the church, who is the beginning, the firstborn of the dead, that in all things he may have preeminence, right? First to be reborn into immortal status. That makes him the first reborn, the firstborn of the dead. Because you had many people who, I won't say many, I don't know. So you had individuals in the scriptures who have been brought back from the dead. I think Elisha, as Elijah's successor, they taught, he revived someone from the dead. But he was revived, but he just died again later on, But Yahushua was revived, but he didn't die again, right? He went back up, to the Father, in the chariot, He never died again. That's much different, No other person has ever done that, That's our big brother, so as we all say, Verse 24, when there was no depths, I was brought forth, when there was no fountains abounding with water. Before the mountains were settled, before the hills was I brought forth. Beautiful things, Like I've seen it, Things I've been in nature before. I've been on Recently, I went to like a cabin or whatever, and you kind of see these things. It's like, wow, you know. You see like a little bit of nature. You see mountains. You see the water and all these things. They're very beautiful to bestow your eyes upon. And the problem that Jake had in the ancient world was that he was worshiping these things, bugging the hell out. It's like, it's very beautiful, but it's not that beautiful. Oh shit. Some mosquitoes. I got I had a fucking mosquito thing. What do you call it? Mosquito light. That when the mosquitoes touch it, they'll fucking die. Cause sometimes they be making their way into my room and it's fucking annoying. They're trying to sleep, and mosquitoes all buzzing around. Like, oh my, shut the fuck up. Go bother someone else. Was yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, the highest part of the dust of the world. Let's see your dust, loose earth. So for anything. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. And he set a compass upon the face of the depth, right before the ozone layer, for all these things. Came forth the firmament, all of it, right? When he established the clouds above, when he shut the fountains of the deep, and given to the sea his decree, and the water should not pass his commandment, when he pointed the foundation of the earth. Which, you can go into one of the second Ezra chapters. I think it might have been 4 or 5. Let's go into how the water and the sand. I think was the archangel Uriel is bringing it down, and he's kind of going into it, and he's kind of going into how the water, most I has it set up with the waters have a certain limit where it's to go, right? It'll crash upon the land and then it'll dry up or whatever and stop. The water isn't going to compass, take over the sand, take over the earth, so that there's place for people to walk and there's place for water to be, right? And Most High has it set up for each to have his place, each to have his order. Verse 30. Then I was by him, as someone brought up with him. I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him, right? Wisdom is able to be seen through action. By wisdom the earth was created, of course, through the hands of Yahushua. Yahweh takes credit, right? Rejoicing in the habitable part of his earth, and my delights with the sons of men, the elect. Now therefore hearken unto me, O ye children, for blessed are they that keep my ways. Hear instruction, and be wise, and refuse it not, right? Hear instruction and be wise and refuse it not. So when you come out here, that goes to what I was talking about before. I think it might have been Romans, being a forgetful hearer, right? You got to hear it. You got to, learn. You got to accumulate the info. You got to look it up for yourself so that it becomes ingrained and becomes a part of you. Just like with anything, with like, martial arts, right? Like you can watch someone teach you how to jab, right? But you need to do the jab yourself to understand, okay, this is how you turn your hips into it. Which, there's a million ways to turn a jab, do a jab, but, the way I was taught years ago, whatever, was, you throw your hips into it, and then you swing it back, you retract back fast, and then, you turn your knuckles in or whatever, cut up people's faces and whatever. And then you do the cross, you turn your hips even more, you turn your foot, into it. You whip your hips with it, and boom, But by doing it, you're able to make it a part of you, like this truth, by reading for yourself, right? Which is an important part of this ministry. You gotta study, and when I say study, you gotta study things that you've heard for yourself. Right? It's one thing hearing it, but when you look it up for yourself, it's like, oh, that's what that means, right? Like I can watch brothers for hours at a camp, and note down all the scriptures, but then it's like, okay, I can't really use all these because I have to read the books myself. And if you don't read the books yourself, you're not really going to understand everything in context and really be able to use it for yourself. You should, like, of course, we use verses out of the chapter, but you should read the whole chapter, because there's more in there. Maybe you can get things that other brothers don't find, and all for the benefit and the perfecting of the body. Blessed is the man who heareth me, watch it daily at my gates, watching at the post of my doors. Once again, being a watchman, right? And that's our duty, right? And this is what we do: watch the post of the doors, watching daily at the gates for new prophecies to come forth, right? So see, man, next new person to get the Neuralink, or shit, next new war, or keeping up to date with wars and rumors of wars, and when we come out, and we speak on these things, daily. It's the everyday thing with us. Gates, door. You watch daily for the prophecies coming to pass. You watch the news and filter through scriptures. Post on my doorpost. Whosoever findeth me findeth life and shall obtain favor of the Lord. Right? Obtain favor of the Lord. The path during Jacob's trouble and beyond in the kingdom will all have the favor of the Most High. Right? And we're gonna have spiritual life. I could be in the congregation of the dead. Be that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul, and all they that hate me love death. Right? Be that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul. Right? So if you sin against Yahushua, right? If you do wrong, see your sinneth, guilt, forfeit, purify, and cleanness, and make bear loss, miss the mark, forfeit, lack, repent, lead astray. Right? So if you lead astray, if you sin against Yahushua, right? Of course, sinning against Yahushua is teaching the wrong names, right? Or saying that the Hebrew doesn't matter, like IUIC said we're gonna get Hebrew in the kingdom. You're teaching the doctrine all wrong, even though you know full well. Right? And the apostles made a good point. I think it was the other apostle Gabar. He said, "Man, one of your man's name is Yawasap. That's Hebrew, bro. How are you gonna tell us that the Hebrew don't matter? That the Hebrew is wrong? You got one of your guys using a name in Hebrew, right?" I think even their guys, they don't even use Hebrew names. They got names like Gabriel and stuff like that. Like, they're using these weird Greco transliteration names. You should be having names in the Hebrew, only the Hebrew, right? But whoso findeth me findeth life and shall obtain favor of the Lord, right? Because something against me wrongeth his own soul, and all that hate me love death, right? So all of you out there, going, you 2/3 man, you Edomites, man, who hate Yahushua, who hate this knowledge, wisdom, understanding, hate Yahushua, hate all of this, right? You love death, and that's going to be your judgment. It's death, suffering, and pain, But don't let that be that. Of course, you 2/3. Once you die in this, you just come back in the kingdom. You'll be made to be right. You'll be right again. I'll let that be that. The way to fight Shalom.